My life has felt like one of those messy daytime shows lately, the kind you catch by accident and swear you'd never be in that situation yourself. I wish I could say this story is exaggerated, but it's not. I'm just trying to get it all off my chest because even though I've been trying to handle it, part of me still can't believe my own sister did this to me. Growing up, my sister and I were close in that uneven way where she always needed to be the center of attention, and I was usually okay letting her have it. She's a year older than me, and even as kids, she thrived on drama while I wanted peace. I remember birthdays where if my parents gave me something slightly nicer, she'd throw a fit until they smoothed it over with her. I learned early on that if she was upset, the whole house was upset, so I'd usually just back down. That dynamic carried into adulthood more than I realized until recently. A couple of years ago, I met someone who felt different from anyone else I had ever been with. He was calm, funny in this dry way, and most of all, steady. For the first time, I felt like I could breathe in a relationship instead of constantly walking on eggshells. When he proposed last spring, I was over the moon. I had this vision of what my future would finally look like, and it felt safe. My family seemed happy too, or at least I thought so. My sister clapped and hugged me, but something about her smile fell off. It was one of those polite smiles that doesn't reach the eyes. A couple of weeks later, things started to unravel. Out of nowhere, my fiancé sat me down looking pale and asked me if there was something I hadn't told him. I was confused until he said he'd been contacted anonymously with records showing I had been in a rehab facility multiple times for drug problems. My heart dropped. I've never touched drugs in my life. I barely drink. I asked to see the records, and sure enough, there were official-looking documents with my name, birth date, even an old address. For a moment, I doubted my own sanity. Like, how could this even exist? He believed me when I said they were fake, but I could tell he was shaken. His parents got wind of it and were less understanding. His mom called me privately and said she didn't want to see her son make a mistake with someone who had a history. It was humiliating, and I didn't even know where to begin to clear my name. I started digging because I needed to know who would go this far to hurt me. After making a few calls to the clinic that supposedly treated me, they confirmed no such record existed. Then a friend of mine who works in admin told me the documents looked doctored, like someone had edited real paperwork to insert my information. That's when my stomach turned, because the only person I could imagine being that invested in destroying my relationship was my sister. At first, I didn't want to believe it. Who does that to their own family? But small details kept pointing back to her. The old address listed was from a place she and I briefly shared during college. She's also the only person in the family who's openly questioned if I was as perfect as I act. I confronted her privately, and she laughed in my face. She didn't even deny it. She said something like, "If your fiancé really loved you, a few papers wouldn't matter. Maybe now you'll see who he really is." The casual cruelty of it stunned me. I wanted to scream, but instead I just walked away. My fiancé and I had a long talk. To his credit, he stood by me, but the stress almost broke us. His parents eventually backed off after he defended me, but I could tell they still had doubts. The engagement planning slowed down, and honestly, I started to feel like maybe my sister got exactly what she wanted. Me isolated, doubted, and embarrassed. Then came her engagement. She'd been dating this wealthy guy for about a year, and his family is all about appearances. They threw her an elaborate party at this fancy country club, the kind of thing where every centerpiece looks like it costs more than my rent. I didn't want to go. I told myself I'd just keep quiet and not ruin her day. But as I sat there, watching her bask in the spotlight while people toasted to her honesty and loyalty, something in me snapped. I hadn't planned it, but when the speeches opened up for guests, I stood. My hands were shaking, but my voice came out clearer than I expected. I said I was happy for my sister, but I also wanted everyone to know the kind of person they were celebrating. I laid out what she had done to me, how she faked rehab records to sabotage my engagement, how she admitted it, how close she came to destroying not just my relationship, but my reputation. The room went silent. Her fiancé's parents looked horrified. My sister turned pale, then bright red, sputtering that I was making it up. But when I mentioned the clinic confirming the documents were fake and the old address only she knew, people started shifting uncomfortably. I didn't stay long after that. My parents tried to scold me for making a scene, but for once I didn't back down. I told them I was done protecting her and done playing the role of the quiet sibling who takes the hits. I walked out with my fiancé, and for the first time in years, I felt lighter. Since then, things have been tense. My sister's fiancé hasn't officially broken things off, but I've heard from relatives that his family is reconsidering. My parents are furious with me for airing dirty laundry, but a few cousins have privately told me they're proud I spoke up. My fiancé has been incredible through all of it, reminding me that the truth came out, and we're stronger for it. Still, I can't shake the sadness. I keep thinking about the little girls we once were, playing in the yard, sharing secrets at night. How did we get here, where she would rather destroy me than see me happy? I don't think I'll ever get an answer. What I do know is that I'm finally done shrinking myself to keep her comfortable. I don't know if my sister's engagement will survive this. I don't even know if I'll ever have a relationship with her again. But I do know that for the first time in my life, I didn't let her win by staying silent. And no matter what happens next, I think that's something I needed to do for myself.